Bugsy and I'm an addict. I'm going to be reading just for today, August 11th, 2024, Active Listening, page 233, basic text, page 106 and 107. Through active listening, we hear things that work for us. Most of us arrived in Narcotics Anonymous with a very poor ability to listen. But to take full advantage of the therapeutic value of one addiction helping another, we must learn to listen actively. What is active listening for us? In meetings, it means we concentrate on what the speaker is sharing while the speaker is sharing. We set aside our own thoughts and opinions until the meeting is over. That's when we sort through what we've heard to decide which ideas we want to use and which we want to explore further. We can apply our active listening skills in sponsorship too. Newcomers often talk with us about some major event in their lives. While such events may not seem significant to us, they are to the newcomer, who has little experience in living life on life's terms. Our active listening helps us empathize with the feelings such events trigger in our sponsee's life. With that understanding, we have a better idea of what to share with them. The ability to listen actively was unknown to us in the isolation of our addiction. Today, this ability helps us actively engage in our recovery. Through active listening, we receive everything being offered to us in NA, and we share fully with others the love and care we've been given. As for today, I will strive to be an active listener. I will practice active listening when others share and when I share with others. Okay, one thing about Narcotics Anonymous, there's many things about Narcotics Anonymous, but in regards to active listening, is we don't crosstalk. If I were speaking and I shared my story about how I lost my girls and someone stopped and interrupted me and said, "Wow, what kind of parent are you to lose your girls in such a stupid way?" Like I already didn't know that it was a stupid thing to do. Those things get shut down real quick. People that are running the meeting will be like, "Hey, no cross-talking." Or if you finish speaking and then somebody starts speaking and they start putting down the things you've said, like, "Oh, you had your daughters and you couldn't even get yourself together enough to actually keep them. Like you couldn't get yourself sober to keep them. Like how selfish are you?" That kind of stuff will get shut down too. They'll be like, whoa. Don't be doing that. Talk about your own story. Now, there are some exceptions to crosstalk, and one of them would be, "Hey, I'm 3 weeks sober today," and people will interrupt that and start clapping and, "Woo, good job, I'm so proud of you." That will happen, and that's okay. Or the next person who speaks says, "Hey, you know what? You just shared that you're 3 weeks sober, and I want to tell you that's a big deal. Congratulations, I'm very proud of you," and then carry on with their own story. So when people are talking, it is very important for you to listen to what they're saying, not to respond, but listen to understand. Because there have been times where, and these are just very loosely given stories, but there have been times where someone would be saying, "I woke up today and I really wanted to use, and I think I was going to use," and then somebody in the room listening shut down because they were ready to respond. And when they shut down and stopped listening to what the person was saying, they didn't hear the other parts of the person's, testimony. They went on to say, "But then I looked myself in the mirror and I said, I'm not going to do that. I am staying sober and I'm going to wake up sober and go to sleep sober. I'm not going to use. I felt like using, but I didn't, and I'm not going to." And then the next person talks and they respond with, "If you feel like using, you're not doing your sobriety or recovery right." But they didn't listen to everything that person had said, but they sure had something to say. Now the problem is that it's not just in Narcotics Anonymous, it's not just an addict that has a problem with listening. People in everyday life who've never dealt with addiction, they go through it too. People listen to respond. They fail to listen to understand. And when you are talking to somebody and you're like, "Here's what's going on in my life, I'm having this hard time," or even something positive like, "Oh, my daughter's about to turn 1 year old and this, that, and the other," and you tell a story and the person you're talking to immediately responds with the first part of the story, like an answer to it, to me, that makes me feel like you didn't hear anything else I said. You stopped at the first point that you were interested in started coming up with an answer and response and totally negated any reason for us to talk because you already had an answer and I just talked for 10 minutes or whatever. Or you asked me how I'm doing and I explained to you, well, this is going on. I'm sad about this. This, is happening in my life and I'm struggling. And the first thing you say back is a response to the first thing I said to you. That just tells me you weren't listening to anything else I said. You heard something that triggered you to want to respond and you shut down. You need to learn how to shut your thoughts off so you can hear what other people are saying, what their thoughts are. And I think that if we start practicing shutting our own thoughts down while somebody else is speaking, we might learn something. They might say something, you're like, dang, I was just thinking about that. Dang, oh wow. And they did this. Oh, that's a good idea. I should implement that into my life. That's good. Okay. Because you took the time to hear what they were saying, to understand what they were saying, instead of sitting there going like, ooh, I'm going to tear them a new one. Or, ooh, I have an answer. Okay, well, they might already have an answer and you just didn't listen. But when you actively listen to somebody, especially in the world of addiction, if I listen to somebody who's been sober for 25 years and we have very similar backgrounds, we lost our kids, we were homeless, these things, I might want to listen up. No, what did you do? How did you deal with that? How did you get out of that? I would like to understand your way of thinking because sometimes I don't think my way of thinking is working. So I'm going to listen. I'm going to take mental notes to what you're saying. And then later, after the meeting, if I still have questions or if I wanted to clarify something, I can approach that person. And look, not only did you just listen and maybe come up with some answers to questions that you've been struggling to find, I just made a friend or an acquaintance or somebody that I can go to and ask questions when I'm struggling with the same problems that they're having. So don't sit there in the meeting or in life and listen to somebody talking and immediately shut down because I already have an answer. It's like going to class and the teacher starting to ask a question. What planet? Earth. It's Earth. Is no longer a planet anymore. Like, you didn't hear the whole question. You didn't hear the whole statement. You need to take time to listen, get all the information, comprehend it, understand it, and then come up with a response. It's not just I talk, you talk, back and forth. It's you talk, I listen, I understand, I talk. And then you talk, and I talk. And you talk, and I talk. But our talking has extra steps. It's, I need to understand what you're trying to ask me. I can't fix your problem without knowing. I can't take my car to the mechanic and just be like, it's running weird. Okay? You got to listen to all of the problems that are going on in the person's life or all of the celebrations that the person is experiencing and use that to respond with because you've comprehended it and you understood it and then you respond. And it's perfectly okay for somebody to come up to you and say, I have this problem. What do I do? Don't immediately be like, oh, do this. It's okay for you to be like, it's a good one. And it's even okay to be like, I don't know. Let me get back to you. I'm going to do some research or I'm going to go think about it a little bit and I'll get back to you. It's okay. We don't need instant gratification. The moment I ask a question, I don't need the answer exactly right then. Sometimes you really want it, but sometimes it takes time to figure it out. So listen to each other. Listen to understand. Don't listen to hear. And as you can tell, mine's over there talking, so I need to go listen to what she needs. And I hope everyone's doing well out there, and I will talk to you later. Sorry for the distraction. All right, talk to you later. Bye.